my obeisances to my spiritual master, Srimad Jagadguru Sudarshan Acharyaji Maharaj. I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Sri Ramanuj. I want to pay my obeisances to Mother Lakshmi. And I want to pay my obeisances to Lord Sriman Narayan. I want to welcome Lord Raam, Mother Sita, and all the Devis and Devtas that took part in the great epic that is depicted accurately in the Ramayan, as the Ramayan is one of the most authentic scriptures enacted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sriman Narayan, in his form as Lord Raam. Those of you that have a little background will know that Lord Narayan came down in the form of avatars since time immemorial. Which or what position of avatar is Lord Raam? Again, Lord Raam, which incarnation of Lord Narayan? Which incarnation of Lord Narayan? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
First incarnation.
Quickly check it out. So what was the purpose of the Ramayan? Why did Lord Raam take his birth? And why are we celebrating Raam Naumi? Why are we here tonight? And why is Ram Naumi being celebrated around the world? Is somebody looking? Sorry? Okay, let's start from before Lord Ram's avatar was which avatar? How is the Sri Sampradaya connected to Lord Ram? What is the significance of this celebration and the Sri Sampradaya? Don't you think it is most auspicious today that the very first celebration at the Sri Narayan Dham is Ram Naumi? Lord Sri Ramanuj. Ramanuj means younger brother of Lord Ram. We are in the Sri Ramanuj Sampradaya. Can there be anything more greater or more auspicious than Lord Ram attending his Ram Naumi at the Sri Narayan Dham, the only Sri Sampradaya ashram on the African continent. Can you see the auspiciousness and the significance of this day, the advent of this day, and we have in this satsang at this, the Sri Narayan Dham. Who is Ravana? And how is he connected to Lord Ram? What is the significance of Lord Ram, the debacle between Lord Ram and Ravana? Why did Ravana and Lord Ram make their appearance together? Sudarshan, don't you think these are important questions that need to be unpacked? The answers need to be unpacked. Because the Western world has diluted this significance of the Ramayan into a mythology, into a folk tale. Sanatana Dharma is absolute, and anything found in Sanatana Dharma is absolute. Anything written in Sanatana Dharma is absolute. And when something is absolute, the word mythology does not equate to absoluteness. And the Ramayan is currently the only scripture in the world that is surfacing its evidence and boggling the scientists, the greatest scientists of the world. From the place where Sita was abducted and all the localities depicted by Valmiki in the Ramayan leading up to Lanka, is in a straight line. How did Valmiki see this straight line in his description of the abduction of Mother Sita up to his headquarters in Sri Lanka? In what vehicle did Ravana take Sita to Lanka? And in which yuga did Lord Ram make his appearance? Sorry? Sita, I'll have to have you institutionalized. Only Lord Narayan sits on the Garuda. He never gave his vehicle to Ravana. See what Vimana means. Vimana. See what Vimana means. Sudarshan? It's like a plane. And a plane moves in a straight line from point A to point B. There is no reason for a plane to jiga joke. So we're saying, let's go back in time. When did this enactment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead take place? In the end of? In Treta Yuga. In Treta Yuga. What is the lifespan of Treta Yuga? $1.2 million Earth years. After Treta Yuga is which Yuga? What is the lifespan of Dwapara Yuga? $800,000 years. 1.2 million plus 800,000 years is how many years? 2 bars? Somebody saying 2 bars? 2 million years. How many years are we into Kali Yuga? 5,000. Sita, you went to the wrong place to get your degree. I warned you. Wrong institution you went and got your degree. Dwapara Yuga is how many years? 800,000. How many years into Kali Yuga are we? 5,000. Kali Yuga is 432,000. Minus 5,000, 427,000 is left. And if you do not follow my instructions, you live through and suffer 427,000. Not you, whoever don't follow the Guru will live that entire 427,000 years in this miserable universe. And those who listen to the Guru will jump in the Vimana and go to Vaikuntha at the end of this lifetime. So going back 2 million years ago, it cannot be sooner. It cannot be sooner, is when Lord Ram was on this earth. How is Ravana connected to Lord Ram? And what is their relationship, Sudarshan?
The enemy.
Why are they enemies?
Because Ravana is bad.
And God is good. At creation, Lord Brahma had 4 sons, the Sanat Kumaras. And they represent the Guru principle. The 4 sons, his mind-born sons, the Sanat Kumaras, and they represent the Guru principle. Every Guru that lives takes its birth from the principle of the Sanat Kumaras. And they were touring the universe and they went to Vaikuntha. And when they entered the gates of Vaikuntha, they were stopped by 2 of Lord Narayan's gatekeepers, Jaya and Vijaya. And because Jaya and Vijaya did not give the Sanat Kumaras due respect and they were stopped at the gate, these 2 brothers were cursed. And this curse, endorsed by Lord Narayan, that they would take birth as God's enemy in 3 lifetimes. 1, in the first lifetime, Hiranyakasipu, and he was annihilated by Vishishtadvaita. Second lifetime, annihilated by Lord Raam. And third lifetime, annihilated by Lord Sri Krishna. So Ravana had to play a part of a demon, because only a demon is an enemy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he represents all the demonic values that is prevalent in our human society. So Ravana, originally the doorkeeper of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Being the doorkeeper of God, how high is that position of a living entity that God allows you to be his doorkeeper? Anita? Very high. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is absolute. And his enactment, all his actions have to be absolute. And although his doorkeeper would be his most confidential servant, when there is a transgression, that transgression can lead to the most confidential servant to become an enemy. So there are 2 types of souls that enter the material universe. One type of soul is through its innate nature of desire and hatred, fall from the pure consciousness and enters the material atmosphere. The other type of souls come direct from Vaikuntha. They do their job and they go back to Vaikuntha. So 2 types of soul enter the material atmosphere. One come through hatred and desire. The other come to do work for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and go back to Vaikuntha. So Ravana came straight from Vaikuntha, and he came to enact and take part as the 10-headed demon. And Lord Ram represented the absolute truth. According to Lord Ram, accordingly Lord Ram set his values in the Ramayan. And Lord Ram set the Upanishads in motion. By his very actions in this material universe, Lord Ram set into motion the Upanishads, the Puranas. He lived the values that a human should live, and he showed humanity how to live in every category of a human life. Ram means the soul. So the original mantra is Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Don't you think it is logical that Lord Ram, as an avatar preceding Lord Shri Krishna, the mantra should have Lord Ram's name first? All of you. Logic. Logic? Nishimadeva, logic. So that is the mantra. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. That is the original mantra. So why did Lord Ram, or why did Lord Narayan take the Ram avatar? Sudarshan?
To destroy evil and to reaffirm Vedanta.
Yes. And the most significant reason of the Ram avatar is that this is the first avatar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in full human form. Is it not? He first came as a fish, tortoise, boar, half lion, half man. Dwarf, and then the first full incarnation of man. Is it not? So won't this be the most significant avatar of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in setting up precedents, in teaching humanity how to be human. Don't you think it would be the values of this avatar? And don't you think the Ramayan becomes the most important epic for all of mankind? Because every action in the Ramayan is absolute. And it absolutely corresponds with all of the Vedic injunctions. If you take the Ramayan and if you break it up into portions, it becomes the Bhagavad Gita, it becomes the Vedanta Sutra, it becomes the 18 Puranas, it becomes all of Vedic knowledge. Not only scripturally, but tangibly. Before I leave, the Vedas will be known in every corner of this earth. We have already started. Sri Narayan Dham is already in over 200 countries around the world. And technology is a good thing because it will re-establish the absoluteness of the Vedas and Sanatana Dharma. So the Ramayan is historical. What does historical mean? Something that happened accurately in the past. The Ramayan happened accurately in the past, and it is currently corroborated by scientists to have happened. The root of Mother Sita in the Vimana is absolute. The bridge crossing from India into Sri Lanka exists, it's still there. You can take a dive down and find the samples. It's absolute. Sanatana Dharma is absolute. Lord Raam is absolute. And the Guru principle is absolute. And when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sriman Narayan, took his first fully fledged human form, he surrendered as a child to his Guru. He lived his life in full surrender of his Guru. He prostrated fully at his Guru's feet throughout his life. And even when he came back from his 14 years of exile, he ran to his Guru first and prostrated at the feet of his Guru. Supreme Personality of Godhead is absolute. When he took his absolute form as man, he taught man how to live the absolute reality. And the absolute reality of man living, really living, is to be in total surrender of a bona fide spiritual master. Otherwise, he's a living dead. Otherwise, he's a living dead. The ultimate reality, the only reality of any human that is living, that reality have to be his or her association and surrender to a bona fide spiritual master. The Guru principle is so absolute that the Supreme Personality in both his forms as Lord Sri Ram and Lord Sri Krishna lived in surrender of the Guru principle whilst in this material universe. And if anybody thinks that they can live outside this principle, then they are only breathing. They are not living. Because life begins at the feet of a bona fide spiritual master. And that life is real life. If one does not surrender fully to a bona fide spiritual master, then you are only breathing, you are not living. Remember, I'd like to extend my hand and give you a sounder or two. Are there any questions? Are there any questions? Radharani, Ramanuj Dasi, Srimadeva Ramanuj Das, Jaypal Ramanuj Das, and the future Ramanujan. Any questions? Yamraj. These festivals in Sanatana Dharma should not be taken lightly. Don't get up in the morning and say, oh, satsang tonight. You just shot yourself in your spiritual heart. Put this celebrations first and put everything else second. Because there is nothing more absolute than these days when the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in these satsangs. And I gave Vasudeva Ramanuj Das special eyes to see the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and all the Devis and Devatas at every satsang. At every satsang. And he has the capacity to see them. And we record most of these sightings of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when you get up in the morning, you should be happy that you have an opportunity to attend a satsang by the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is endorsed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. in this satsang, you can never be bored. Those of you that's following me for years now, I never gave the same story twice. Ram Naumi, Krishna Ashtami, any festival, because Sanatan Dharma is eternal. What does eternal mean? Always fresh. Always fresh. No past, no future, existing all the time in the absolute reality. This is not a Superman tale. Temples around the world will go into the chapter of how Hanuman Baba saved Mother Sita. Year in, year out. Satsang in, satsang out. Sita, how many times you heard that story? And how many times you heard this story? Alright. I'm not the storyteller guru. I am not the storyteller guru. And I got no time for stories. I'm the real thing. And I want to teach you the real thing, so that you can become the real thing. Because Lord Narayan is in everything, and everything is in Lord Narayan. You can't make a move, Natasha. Saltless or not, Lord Narayan is everything. So for the forthcoming 8 days, get up invigorated with the thought that you have an opportunity to attend a satsang and meet the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his form as Lord Ram at the Sri Narayan Dham. Jai Shri Narayan.